In a podcast land where thoughts collide, Brian and Craig will be your guide. No topic too small, no tale too tall. Tune in, laugh out, you'll have a ball. From mysteries deep to light-hearted jokes in a poker rhythm where laughter invokes. Untitled is their name, the fun untamed. Each episode a ride, this shows their claim. Untitled, Brian and Craig, get ready for a twist and a leg shake. In a quirky world where anything goes, join the ride as the madness flows.
There you go.
I do love that noise. I really do.
Back in the day, that's all we had. We had a pleasing noise to keep us alive, and if we didn't hear the pleasing noise, we would die.
The only thing keeping us from death was having boo 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 now recording. That was all.
And breast milk.
and of course breast milk. Because those are the two things. Is that how we open the show this week?
That's how we're opening the show. Fuck it. We're
Oh, okay, cool.
just name the episode "Breast Milk." Just the episode.
We're off to quite the start. So yeah, episode 22.
I think it's 22. Yeah.
I think it's 22. So
Yeah.
that's something.
By the way, one of those mutant black squirrels. I am. For those of you listening, all 6 of you, I am in my future office. In my home. My office overlooks the street that I live on, and there is a giant black squirrel just fooling around in the yard across the way. I'm literally watching it right now. It is the biggest squirrel I've ever seen.
I'm glad to hear you have giant squirrels where you live now. And I'm glad to hear that you live in a place. It's not your future office, dude. It's your current office.
It is your
shambles. Yeah.
In shambles, yes. In shambles, yeah. It basically has the makings of an office, as in the boxes I'm going to unpack that will become the office.
Right. Someday at some point. So how much help did you have in moving? Or maybe there's a whole moving story coming up as in the "What did you do this week" segment. So maybe I can
Oh God. So it was me and a 14-year-old boy, Kate, another helper, and then oddly enough, our agent.
Oh wow. That's a good agent.
Yeah, he's a great agent.
That's amazing. So you had more help unloading it than you did loading it then.
It was comfortable help.
Similar. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I count as like 3 people because of my girth and just the overall strength that I provide.
Those of you who don't know this, Craig is a Catholic, and he's built like a brick shithouse.
That's
and
correct.
It's the power of the Lord that fuels his muscles.
The power of Christ compels me. What can I say?
The power of Christ compels. That was probably the second most sacrilegious thing I've ever said in my life.
I don't want to know the first then.
Oh, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I believe it. I do believe it. So, did you enjoy the Craig the Catholic artwork?
Yes, I loved it.
I'll post it. I'll post it at some point on the Brian and Craig Instagram page, so people can.
It was so silly.
Enjoy. It really was. So, for those who haven't seen it yet, you can go. Probably by the time this is posted, you can go to Untitled with Brian and Craig, the Instagram page, and see what word it is we're talking about. But I drew a picture, basically using my head from our logo, and then just recreating it as if I were a Catholic saint. An artwork that was prescribed by Brian for me to have to do. So me being a good little boy took care of it, and now it exists in the world for people to enjoy. So fun.
It's pretty great. I love Craig Doodles. Craig Doodles keep me alive. That's all we had back in the 70s before the measles vaccine.
Well, that and breast milk, of course. But yes.
And breast milk, of course. Breast milk. Yeah.
We always had breast milk. So how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take to make it so it's not shambles, but actual like a house and unpacked boxes and stuff? What's your timeline you're thinking at this point?
Probably May, which isn't bad.
That's not too bad for it's April currently, so that seems.
It's not even the middle of April yet.
No, it's like what, the 12th maybe. That sounds about right. I don't know. 13th.
Yeah, it's the 12th. Yeah.
12th.
Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
cool. Yep. All right. Well, good luck to you, sir.
So, but yeah, outside of that, I've just been doing a lot of work stuff. I've been slowly unpacking things. So I found out that the outlet to our washing machine wasn't the right outlet. So I'm like,
Of course.
okay, well, I know enough. I know enough about wiring that if there's water involved, you need to have a GFCI switch. So I went to go to Home Depot, buy the GFCI switch and a plate and stuff because I figure it's in the off chance that my dishwasher does leak or something or like a hose splits, what have you, it's protected and I don't short my whole house. So get everything
Yes.
ready.
Good plan.
I pull out the old dishwasher, replace it with my dishwasher. I hook everything up. And then here is where I made the critical mistake. I did
no.
not check it after I wired it up to realize there's no power, or I didn't check it before I killed power to the house.
Oh no.
So long story short, I find out that the wire is a dead wire. I don't know where the hell it goes,
So
but there's no power going through it.
You're connecting it to Playtime wires that have no electricity.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the Playtime house, like my little electrician. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
My little dishwasher doesn't work.
Yeah, my little dishwasher. Yeah, my little electrician. Come on, man, that was comedy gold.
It's good stuff. I appreciated it. Yes. Oh.
Good. But anyways, so I'm working on that, and then I'm like, well, this sucks. So I just cram it in there, and I'm probably gonna. So one of my New York friends, he works a well-known contracting company and can do like everything under the sun. So I'm gonna wait, like, please help me. So.
Oh. So is it still DOA at the moment?
Yeah, they'll probably help me run a line down, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not too upset about that. So
yeah,
we also bought a new door because the door to our house. When I'm telling you this, Craig, there's probably about an inch on each side where I can see daylight on our front door.
In Buffalo, is that a problem if you have giant holes in your front door? Because it seems like it's with the temperate climate. It seems like that would be something you'd almost welcome if you could get a nice cool breeze for all the heat that you deal with in Buffalo, New York.
It is. The big problem we have is palmetto bugs. They just crawl right in, and yeah, it's kind of awful just having a swarm of like giant brown bugs that you got to stomp on every morning.
Gross. Oh.
Yeah, the cats love them though. The cats eat them.
So they sold you a house with a door that had giant holes on either side?
Yeah, they specifically omitted it from the what was it? The disclosure form and I don't know. I think they just replaced the door because they're shitheads. That's what I think they did.
So they put it. So this is a new door that they just did its size correctly?
I don't know, man. I really think the sellers of this house didn't really want to sell the house because did I mention last time about the whole thing with why they held up closing? Because of the washer dryer.
Yeah, you did talk about that. Yes, yeah, and then you offered to just come and take it out for them, but yeah, there was a whole problem, so you couldn't move in early. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that they're just fucking idiots and just don't know how to sell a house. So, anyways, long story short, there's that. I also hooked up the internet and I was like, why am I not getting any internet? So I went outside in like 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts, okay, to look around the house to figure out where the cabling was. And I couldn't trace the cabling. Do you know why I couldn't trace the cabling, Craig?
Was it connected to the same place that the electricity for your dishwasher is, just to Playtime land?
Yeah, it didn't exist. I had to call up. So I had to call up the cable people and say, "Hey, can you run a line from the pole to my house?" And they're like, "Yes, we can do that." And I'm like, "Oh my god!"
So
Craig, it gets.
Wait, you hooked up internet, and they're like, "Sure, you can start paying us." But they hadn't gone to the trouble of actually running a line to your house?
No. So how it works, and I didn't know this, is they have like a hub, right, of cables. Okay. And then they they assign essentially the cables to where it could possibly go. So basically, when they ping an address, so say you live on 123 Fake Street.
Sure.
There, you'll type in, "Do we service your area?" You type in 123 Fake Street. They ping that pole, and it comes back and saying, "Yes, there's a hookup here. We do service it. It belongs to us."
Oh, okay.
So that's how that works.
But then they have to come out with an actual cable to go to your house, though.
In this case, they did. In most
Yes.
cases, they don't.
Oh, fun. It sounds like you
Right.
got a real winner of a situation that you've been dropped into. Oh, well.
Yeah. But it gets worse slash better, Craig.
Oh, I'm
Worse.
excited for more worse slash better. Please proceed.
So we get our washer and dryer in, right? And so we put it in, and washer works great. I think I actually need to turn down the pressure in the water because there might be too much pressure in the water coming out of the water lines
Okay.
because it's wild. Like all of our clothes are way more soaked than they should be after the rinse cycle. But
Okay.
in any case, we hook up the dryer, and apparently, what must have happened is one of the dryer that you buy a dryer cord, and there's always a possibility that it could short. So I think what had happened is because it had been sitting in the truck for so long, it built up static electricity and it
Uh-huh.
shorted out and it
Oh.
tripped a breaker. I didn't know it tripped
Okay.
a breaker, so there was not enough power going to the dryer for heat. So I'm like, great. So I finally deduced that problem, figured it out, and then I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong here. And I had just blindly plugged in the dryer vent to a hole in the wall, thinking it was already vented. Guess what wasn't vented, Craig?
Are you just blowing dryer lint into your walls?
Pretty much, Craig.
Did they wait though? Did they have a dryer?
They did.
Was it assuming there's just a laundry room? So were they just venting for years into the walls?
No, they were venting into the basement.
Oh God. Well, that's not a lot better, but
I'm
okay.
assuming.
Because dryer lint is really, really flammable. Like
Correct.
that's dangerous stuff, man. If you like just let it sit, collect in your house. So yeah,
Correct, sir.
make, make sure you don't just have a whole bunch of kindling, on the inside of your house, because that would be bad. We
Correct,
don't
sir.
we want your house to stay up, for
Yes.
at least enough months for me to get there and have a place to stay in Buffalo, but ideally even longer than that.
Correct.
Oh
So,
my.
anyways, I
Okay.
had to run dryer venting, and
Yes.
it is a DIY job at best, and I don't feel good about it. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the outside dryer hole, and the things that are like extra heat for the dryer or whatever, because it's an old house. So what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is I'm just going to grab one of those and like run a cable and run a cable for the extra heat, where it basically just traps all the lint and just blows the heat back into the house. It is
Okay.
basically what I'm going to do, because I think that might be the safer bet.
That sounds good. Yeah. As long as you're getting that lint, or not lint. Lint and lint are different things. As long as you're getting
Yes.
all the lint out of your house, that's what we're really concerned about. So okay, that's good. Well,
Let's see.
adventurous.
What
Wait,
was the other?
does it get worse slash better?
Oh, it does get worse slash better. One of the vents that goes into the living room is like this weird sliver, and I might just plug it up because it makes no sense. Like it's just like this weird hole, this weird 30-inch long by 1 inch, maybe not even, hole where the heat comes out of.
That doesn't
It's
make a
it's
ton of
like
sense, though.
no, it's like there's just like they just were like, fuck it, and forgot and just didn't put the flooring over it.
But this house was built in
Like
what, 1937 or 1837 or something like that. So
something like that, yeah.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, what? I mean, thank God it's not knob and tube wiring, but good God.
Huh. That's weird, but give it time. I believe you can make this a house a home, Brian. I believe in you. So
Well, luckily for you and me and Caitlin, I subscribe to the belief that if the women don't find you handsome, they can at least find you handy.
definitely right, agreed. I agree completely. So I mean, I'm not handy in any way, so it's a good thing I'm handsome. But in your case, that just
That's true.
so yeah.
Yes, I am not handsome. So for those of you at home, I am not handsome. Craig is a very handsome Catholic that uses the power of the Lord to fuel his muscles,
And it's built like a brick house. So there we are.
and is built like a brick house. Yes.
Oh, interesting. I like the way the lore is going this week. It's going in my favor, so that's fun.
The lore is indeed going into the Craig the Catholic suite.
Oh well, my week. I have updates. Last time we spoke, I had just gotten back. There were two car incidents. One, a car that was not mine, and a car that is mine. And there are varying reports. The car that is not mine, the rental car that I backed into a dumpster and broke the brake light cover.
Oh no,
I
did
have
they discover it?
no. Well, if they did, they haven't bothered to contact me. So I guess
Hooray!
I'm not entirely out of the woods necessarily, but it's feeling more and more like I might not have to pay anything for my poor driving when I was all out of sorts that one fateful night, the first night of vacation in Seattle. So it seems like I might have gotten away with one there. So that's good. But that is more than
Yes.
made up by the fact that my car that I do own, well, it's not great, Brian.
Oh no.
Yeah, for those who don't remember, who didn't listen to last episode, as I was driving home from the
Yeah,
airport,
Kate.
the car just died, and we didn't know why. Turns out what happened is the crank broke off of the engine because a bolt had shot out from somewhere inside of the engine, and it broke the crank, and no longer was electricity happening in our car at all. And
What?
yeah, and it turns out that's rather expensive to get replaced. In fact, what you have to do is replace the entire engine. But that's okay
Oh
because
boy.
that only costs $12,000, so that's not a problem. Wait, no, that is a problem. That's a real big
Wait, I
huge.
was gonna say, dude, you could just buy a whole new, brand new used car.
Yeah. Oh, and that is going to probably be the plan. But here's where we are with that right now. Currently, we bought this car about 8 months ago.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah, that is
yeah.
a problem.
Oh, but it gets worse. About 12 months
Oh.
ago, somebody
You
took
mean
it
worse
into
slash better?
yeah. It gets worse slash better. About 12 months ago, someone, and you can't tell from the Carfax report, but someone took it into a Hyundai dealership, and said Hyundai dealership completely rehauled the engine. But we're thinking they did it badly because 12 months later, something inside the engine broke off and destroyed it and turned my car from a usable car into a giant piece of scrap metal. And, the $15,000 that we put down on this car, which, to some people is not a lot of money, I guess. I am not one of those people. That seems like a lot of money to me to just have disappear overnight.
Yes.
And yeah, so we took it in. We took it into our mechanic, who told us it looks like somebody did a really bad job when they were rehauling this engine, and they just didn't lock everything down, and that's probably why it's broken. And so
Yeah.
we talked to Hyundai, and they are in the process of looking at it and seeing if there's anything they can do, because it does seem like negligence on their part.
Yeah.
And so they have it currently. It's a different dealership than the one that did the shoddy work, but they do have it currently, and they're looking into whether or not they will be willing to take care of it for us.
Okay.
My hopes are not high, but they're not zero. So they might actually do something for us, because of this is a situation that should not have happened based on the timeline of events. And so there
Right.
is a chance that we're going to get it taken care of by Hyundai, just because they're like, we don't really want to get sued. So anyway, if they don't take care of it, we may be consulting with a lawyer to be like, this is not
Fix your
okay.
car.
Yeah. So we'll see. And if that doesn't happen, I may just be buying a brand new used car. So we'll see. I don't know. But that's my cars updates. So one very good, as long as I never get a car from a call from a car rental place that shall go unnamed, so that I don't put it out into the universe and suddenly I have someone from said car rental place saying, "Oh, we should probably look into that." So
Yes. Oh, by the way, this week's sponsor is Hertz. No, I'm just kidding.
completely off topic. Yes, that has nothing to do with it. Hertz just reached out to us, and we liked their branding. We thought it was a good fit for us spiritually.
We thought we prayed on it. We thought about it, and we were like, you know what, Hertz. This is the one. We feel like this is the way to go.
Yeah, it hurts. Hey, maybe get the insurance, or maybe don't. Who knows if you'll actually need it?
But they offer it.
Yeah, Hertz insurance. Do you want it? I don't know. Maybe. So.
But they got it, and
yeah,
they also at their friendly dealerships in many airports around the country have thousands of new cars, including Teslas and Range Rovers, for you to use. There we go.
Can you rent electric cars? Maybe you can. I don't know. That'd be a weird.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Well,
Yeah.
Hertz you can if Hertz. I only know about that because they sent a press release a few months ago.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you're in the media, so yeah, that makes sense. So cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my cars update. Oh, I have one other question for you. Do you ever have stress dreams from like work things or school things back when you were like much younger, and then they just like keep recurring, and you just have them, and there's no real reason for them, but they just every now
Yeah.
and then show up? Yeah, I
Yeah.
had.
My
Go ahead.
Mine was always I got lost on the way because I lived in rural Alaska and I walked to school. I always had the dreams that I would like be walking in the woods for like ever, like and
And
it
just
just
walking
never
in the
went anywhere. Like the path, yeah, the paths never went anywhere.
And it's
Yeah,
like stressful, right? Like you wake up and you kind of feel the way you felt when you were like nervous as a kid about this type of thing happening or something, maybe.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I had that happen last night, but it's not from when I was a kid. Well, depends on your definition of a kid. It's from when I was about 23 years old, and
Oh, you were a kid.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, basically yes. This was 20 years ago.
That's not very long, Craig.
Let's just say more years have passed since I was 23 than when I was 23, if that makes sense. It's been more than 23 years now. So it feels significant to me. Anyhow, I worked at a bank, and it was a bank that really appealed to old people, I guess is the best way to say it. So like boomers were the young customers, and we had lots and lots of like the greatest generation customers because back then
Mhm.
they were still alive. But they were like
Right.
70s and 80s and 90s at that point. So the boomers were the young whippersnappers that are, oh god, my age now. But it pretty much appealed to that demographic. But it was like
Yeah.
the kind of rich white versions of those people.
Oh,
So
the
they
more
were,
affluent ones.
yeah, the people that the whole term Karen was invented for is pretty much my
Ah.
customer base when I worked at that place. So like not everyone. I mean, there were nice old people there too, but there were a lot of
Oh yeah.
uh, entitled and rich, and you know the type.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've been around these types of white people before. They're hard to deal with.
Oh, correct, sir.
Yeah. And so I just had like this stress dream about dealing with all of these customers from 25 years ago, and just like how awful they were. And then like my drawers, my drawer wouldn't balance, and like I was dealing with mean customers, and like I just got all this stress. I'm like, and I woke up and I'm like, those people are all dead now. All of these, because like I had these
Yeah.
concerns. Like these were real. This is real day to day life for me for about 4 years, where I was working in a bank
Yeah.
and just dealing with these people and stuff. And I'm like, nothing that I did back then matters. Like there's nothing remains. Like the entirety that like there's no art that's left from this period. There's no relationships. I don't know anyone from back then. There's no
Yeah.
pending lawsuits or of any type. Basically, the only thing that's left is I still have two name tags that were like the metallic name tags that God knows why I saved.
Oh yeah.
But I still that is the bank itself went out of business. It no longer exists. It was called World Savings.
Oh, that's
It doesn't exist anymore.
oh, they were our sponsor.
Well,
Damn it.
sadly, they've been out of business since about 2005. I think they went out of business. So yeah. But anyway, like, and I just got like, and I still have these stress dreams, and I wake up in a panic, and it's like, not only I didn't need to be panicked then because nothing that I was doing then really like mattered or lasted, but also, why am I panicked now about something that happened? Like, it's just weird. But that was like a day to day life thing, and so because of that, like, you still have
Yeah.
these like stresses that you remember vividly so badly that your like brain brings them back up. Like, hey, remember you were in this terrible period of your life where everything was awful and you had to deal with all this stress? It's weird. Like,
Yeah.
why can't it remind me of like, oh, hey, remember when you went to Hawaii and everything was wonderful and you were swimming with otters and sea turtles? Like, why is that the stuff that doesn't get brought back? It's all the I don't know. It happened to me
It's
last
all the
night.
terrible stuff.
Yeah, it happened to me last night. I woke up and I'm like, there's nothing left of that period, and yet it still bothers me. That's so weird and strange. So I don't know. I guess that's
Yeah.
just musings of a dream troubled mind. I don't know why I brought that up, but
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting to me. So
No, that is interesting. I just always, sometimes I just don't even have every waking moment for me is a nightmare. I'm kidding. It's not.
I hope not.
Sometimes it's just like, oh, what fresh hell am I walking into it?
Well, see, that's why we have to podcast, because it's the 1 week or the 1 hour a week we have where we can just, let our freak flags fly and just enjoy being alive for a brief moment in time. So,
Yes.
Anyway, I think that's enough preamble. Do you know what
Yes.
what time it should be now then? The news!
I'm so hyped. You said you had a good one. You said you had a good one.
I do have a good one. I stand by that. I think it's a very good one. I'm excited for it. But before we get to the really good news story, it's time for our favorite recurring segment, Brian.
Ooh, weird Guinness World Book record. Wow. Oh, fuck. Weird Guinness World Records.
Yes, that is correct. I have several of them, including I am getting to the point now on my world record beat where every time I see the any story that starts with Idaho man, I know exactly what it's going to be and who it's going to be. Our friend David Rush, who
yes,
he's the only person I think in the world who's obsessed with breaking world records. And he's from Idaho, and he's kind of a weirdo. But he was at the Guinness Book of World Record headquarters, I guess. I don't know where that is. I'm guessing Ireland,
really?
Somewhere in Ireland, just based off of Guinness. But he was at the headquarters, and he broke the record for most behind the back basketball passes off of a wall in 30 seconds, Brian. He's just making shit up.
Okay, that's a little weird.
Apparently, the previous record. Well, I'm not going to tell you. What do you think the record is for most behind-the-back passes off a wall to yourself in 30 seconds is, Brian?
Well, clearly it doesn't matter because Nikola Jokic hasn't done it.
Well, I'm sure he would be able to defeat that record, yes, but he hasn't attempted to. So for now, David Rush is the record holder with how many do you think in 30 seconds?
30 seconds? You know, yeah. I'm going to go crazy and say 120.
120? Okay, Brian. That would mean you have to every second catch the ball off the wall.
Yes, 4. Yes.
Yeah, 4 times every second. That's a little high.
Yes.
No. The previous record was 25, and David Rush has now beaten that with 38, which is more than 1 per second, which is pretty damn fast.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic is going to have to practice it for at least, 2 hours in order to break that record, probably. But
I'm sure, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
In case those of you who don't know, who are just turned into the show and are like, why do they keep talking about Nikola Jokic? We're big Nuggets fans on the show.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, last time we recorded, the Nuggets had a head coach, and now they do not have a head coach. So that's weird.
I have so many questions, but that's for another time.
It is, yeah. But Michael Malone let go, and we liked Michael Malone, so we're sad. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he always hid Michelob Ultra. Every time he talked to press. I think I'm speculating that's what it was.
Maybe
speculating.
It's weird though. He got a tattoo of the Nuggets logo holding up a NBA trophy after they won the championship 2 years ago, and now he's been fired by an organization that he has tattooed on his leg. And I just think that's great. I mean, it's weird, but it's also great. And it also allows
anyways.
It also allows me to call the team the Post Malone Nuggets, which I think is wonderful.
Sir, get out.
I've enjoyed that.
Be gone with you.
No, it's good. That's a good dad joke, and I stand by it as a dad. That's good stuff. So go Post Malone Nuggets.
Dad.
Okay. No, good. That's a good one, and I will not stand for this dad joke erasure. It's good. It's a good one.
It is all dad joke erasure for me.
All right. What do you think the record is? We're just gonna play the game this way. What do you think the record is for the longest single basketball game on Earth? Just one game with everybody in the gym playing a game, keeping score, and playing consistently without stopping.
I'm gonna say like 3 days.
Not long enough. Not long enough. The new record was set in March. A group of men from Georgia who were raising money for their nonprofit, which has the dumbest name, Men Opposing Sex Trafficking. The shortened version of that is MOST. Their group is called MOST.
Oh, God. Okay.
They played in the gym of Landmark Christian School in Fairburn, Georgia for 121 hours and 3 minutes. So that is almost 5 consecutive days of playing basketball.
That's a lot.
There were 23 people involved in the game, and they had to remain inside the gym even when taking breaks. And the final score of the game was 13,096 to 12,972.
Okay, that clearly the other team just gave up.
Well, I mean, once you fall behind by that much, there was over 100 points difference. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of garbage time at the end, probably. So 5 days of basketball. Well,
That's wild.
I hope most raised some money. But yeah, that's the new record. A record I have no interest in trying to beat, and I don't think it's weird that both of them so far have basketball relations. Yeah, and that the record isn't set by Nikola Jokic because he should basically be the world record holder for all records at this point, but he is not. So
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we could wax poetic about Nikola Jokic all
yeah,
day.
we could. We probably don't want to though. I don't know that it's good radio, but we do love Nikola. So what do you think the record for the longest cattail in history is?
Oh, I actually know this. Isn't it 6 feet?
Oh God, no, it's not that long at all.
No, there's one that's like 5 feet, 11 inches or something like that.
Oh, you're making me sad. No, apparently, according to this story, a new Guinness World Record was found when a cat with an 18.5-inch tail, which is not 5 feet long. It's only like
Wait, are we talking like Pussycat?
Yes, not like tiger or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they're the Cameron family in let's see here in Maine. No, excuse me, Minnesota. It's a Maine Coon cat. The cat, Mr. Pugsley. Oh, Mr. Pugsley Adams is the name of the cat. So
What a name.
that's fun. But yeah, they've always thought they had a pretty long tail. So the vet, when they took him in, said, "Hey, that's a really long tail." So one of the kids researched the record, and then they measured their cat's tail, and Mr. Pugsley Adams had a longer tail than the record in the Guinness Book of World Records. So they contacted Guinness, and yeah, they came out and measured, and it turned out, yes, 18.5 inches is the new record. So that's a thing that people care about, I guess. Longest tail. All right. What do you think the record
Okay.
for most pull-ups in 24 hours is?
Ooh.
One
I
man.
want to say 1,000.
1,000.
Yeah.
Multiply that by 10 and then add one more, and you'd be dead on. A man did
11,001?
no, multiply it, not add. 1,000 times 10 is
So-
10,000. He did 10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours.
Oh, I did the math wrong.
It's okay. There's not going to be a math test later, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah,
Okay.
10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours. Apparently, this guy had the world record for less than 24 hours a few years ago. He had a record for 8,100, and then a few hours later, an Australian dude topped him by doing 8,600 pull-ups in 24 hours.
Wow.
And so he came back and a few weeks ago did 10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours. I have not done 10 pull-ups probably in my entire life because I've always hated pull-ups, and so it's not a thing I participated in PE. And I don't like pull-ups, and I don't want to do them. So he's done significantly more in 24 hours than I will ever do in my entire lifetime. But congratulations to him.
Yeah.
That is crazy. 10,000 pull-ups. Like I don't know how many. That means you have to do. I don't know what's 10,000 divided by 24. You have to do a lot of pull-ups every hour to do this.
That is a lot, yeah.
Your muscles would have to be. I don't know. You have to be determined. I'm not that determined. But anyways, that's the new record.
Well,
congratulations to him. Here is my favorite Guinness record that was broken. And it seems like one that we could potentially break somewhat easily, but it's a new record that was just set. And I think for the reason that it's not that high is because no one's ever thought to do this before. But a museum in St. Louis set a new world record for the most people in the same place wearing banana hats.
Banana hats?
Yeah, these are like cloth hats that look like bananas. They are wearing them all together in the Explore St. Louis City Museum.
Okay.
Yeah. So 309 is the record. That's all you have to do. So we just have to get 310 people together, Brian. Find banana hats for everyone, and we could potentially break this record. I think this is something we have to look into at some point. Like not immediately.
We could do that at a Bills game.
Yeah. Oh.
That's something like Bills fans would like.
Oh, and then we would also be able to sell our banana stickers.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's good.
It all
comes together. Somehow bananas and Bills kind of like there's something about those two things that really go together well. So yeah, so that's something we can potentially look into as we get closer to football season, and we'll have to source banana hats retailers, but it's something that's potential.
Yes.
And we just have to get 310. So we have to, and then we have to get us to care enough to come to the Bills game. But it feels like a thing that's possible. Like I'm saying, there's a chance.
Yes.
So anyway, with that, I wrap up our favorite occasional segment, recurring segment of Guinness Book of World Records. But while that is sad, and it'll be at least several more weeks to months before we get another roundup, it is time for a news story that it's beautiful and it's weird, and I love everything about it. Sadly, it involves an underage person doing a crime, so we don't get all of the details. Like we don't get the name. We don't get the name because he's only 17. So his law breaking is, his records are sealed because he is a minor. But the spirit of his deeds will go on, and I appreciate that for him and for us. A teen in Utah is facing charges.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's exciting. I know how you love Utah. He's
I crave the arches and Canyonlands and Moab. Just
I think that part
crave it.
I think those parts should be like siphoned off as like the non-Mormon Utah. Like we could just create a new state or we just maybe extend Colorado a little bit into that area so that we could take that part and then just leave like the Salt Lake part to Utah itself. But anyway, Provo, Utah, a 17-year-old.
Oh God, it's in Utah County. Jesus,
it is in Utah County.
So just some history. Provo, Utah is where the most Mormon of all Mormons live. That's where BYU is. It's more Mormon than where the temple is, which is in Salt Lake City, if you can believe it.
It's exceptionally Mormon, and yet the Church of Latter-day Saints has literally nothing to do with this story. You'll be glad to know.
Oh, wild. Okay.
Right? Utah County, and yet has nothing to do with Mormonism. In fact, I find it hard to believe, although not impossible, that this person might be more. Just the fact that he lives in that area, there's a good likelihood he is Mormon, but maybe not.
There's an 87% chance he is.
Yeah, there you go. He was arrested and is being charged with 2 counts of destruction of property because he has been. It's so good, Brian. It's so good.
Okay.
He has been duct taping fish to ATM machines.
That is amazing.
It's great. He would duct tape fish to an ATM, like the screen of the ATM machine, like real fish, like trout and grouper and giant big ass fish. He would just duct tape them to ATMs, Brian, and then take pictures of it and post it to Instagram. That's amazing. He's the hero that we not only need, but that we also deserve. And I hope that he beats the charges, if I'm being quite honest, because he's taping. Fish.
I do too.
He's taping fish to ATM machines, Brian. This is art. If it was a banana, people would pay $6 million for it, but you do it to a fish, and you get charged with crime. Like there's no consistency here.
Well, crime does smell bad.
That's true. That's a good point. Bananas maybe smell better.
Wait, I said crime. I realized. You know what I meant. I meant fish.
Well, crime can smell bad too. I mean, if it is fish, then it's whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he's duct taping fish. I think what really got him in trouble is when he started branching out, because he duct taped fish to 13 different ATM machines all across Utah County. But then he branched out, and it was brave, but also maybe stupid. He also duct taped 3 trout to a police car.
Oh yeah, no.
And I mean, if you're just messing with a bank's ATM machine, that's one thing. Like that's okay, you can do that. But then when you start messing with the man, they tend to want to strike back. So they researched and figured out. They started looking at their surveillance tapes, and then they found his Instagram feed. So they just put out a warrant to find out who's behind the Instagram feed, and they went to his house.
Right.
Yeah. So he's up on a couple of charges of destruction of property. Hopefully he beats the charges. But no matter what, in 30 years, this is not something that's going to stick with him for the rest of his life. And for the rest of his life, he'll be able to look back and be like, you know what I did when I was younger? I duct taped fish to ATMs.
Hashtag grouper gang.
That's right. He's my hero, and I wish I knew his name because I'd like to support him.
But is it really destruction? Is it really destruction of property though?
I mean, like duct tape over one of those screens might cause some damage. I don't know. I'm not going to go duct tape a fish to an ATM machine and then try to take it off and see what kind of damage takes place, because I'd like to avoid the trouble myself. but I do support him getting into trouble. I think it's good.
I mean, you could just like scrape it off.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the fish residue, maybe. I don't know.
The bad thing is, who knows how long the fish stayed there before somebody was brave enough to actually take it down. So maybe it really started to stink, and somebody does have to does have to take care of that. So like, if you're the ATM custodian, that kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
but I don't care
Okay.
because the sad thing is, it looks like his Instagram feed had to be taken down because I went to the site that's supposed to be his Instagram, and there's no longer pictures there, and it makes me sad that.
No.
But the pictures do live on online in different places. So if you Google ATM teen fish duct tape, you will find pictures, and it is pretty glorious. And
That's right, because the internet doesn't forget.
no, the internet never forgets. And not only can you see those pictures, you can find the Reddit group of people taping fish to ATMs, because there's of course a Reddit group for it now. And then if you're like me, you end up going down a rabbit hole and finding, in addition to that, an even larger Reddit group. And this Reddit group is dedicated to people stapling bread to trees. It's a giant.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah, you heard me.
You
heard me. It's a Reddit group.
Stapling bread
to trees.
Yes.
And there's hundreds of pictures and thousands of people on this Reddit group. And what they do is they staple bread to trees. It's
okay.
Yeah, and then they take a picture of it, and they just I don't. We live in the weirdest timeline, Brian. We really, like, the internet has just enabled all kinds of craziness. And honestly, I'm kind of here for that part of the weird the internet in the world, because before the internet, nobody was stapling bread to trees or taping fish to ATMs. But now, because of the internet, this happens. And I think maybe the world is a better place when it becomes a little bit weirder. So anyway, I'm Craig, and that is the news.
Okay. Wow, that was a lot.
Do you need a moment to recover? We could just kind of breathe in and out.
I mean, that's almost like that some guy was in New Jersey. First of all, why? Second of all, he found like pizza, like people had just dumped like pounds and pounds and pounds of cooked pasta in the middle of the woods.
You were telling me about that. It's just like spaghetti in the woods. Super straight.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like woods spaghetti. It's like finding, forest porn, but forest spaghetti.
One of them, 13-year-old boys get a little more excited about than the other, because they love spaghetti.
Correct.
They love spaghetti. Who at 13-year-old boys love spaghetti?
True.
So porn, big deal.
It's fact. It's fact. 13-year-old boys find pornography gross and but love spaghetti.
They love spaghetti. Can't get enough of it. It doesn't matter how long it's been sitting in the New Jersey woods. You got to get on that.
Correct. Yeah. There's for spaghetti.
Okay. Now I need a breathing exercise.
Not this Monday. Next Monday.
Okay.
Well, next Sunday is Easter.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. That is when they celebrate Easter coming up. As a Catholic, I am very aware of this.
Yes. But Craig, you're not a Polish Catholic. And you know how I know you're not a Polish Catholic?
I'm afraid of the answer to that question. But how do you know that I'm not a Polish Catholic, Brian?
Because never once have you brought up Dyngus Day.
What? Wait, what? Dyngus Day? Wait, what? Dyngus Day.
Dyngus Day.
You keep saying it, but it doesn't make sense. Is the day after Easter Dyngus Day, Brian?
It sure is, Craig.
Please tell me more.
It is apparently, and I didn't know this, it is apparently the day after Easter, also known by most normal human beings who don't live in Buffalo, New York, because yes, this is specifically a Buffalo, New York thing.
Okay.
Mostly Buffalo, New York thing, where they celebrate Easter Monday as Dyngus Day. So here's the real thing.
Good guess.
That you look up. It says traditionally, boys would splash water over girls and girls would splash water over boys the following day. It's rooted in pagan and Christian traditions and is widely observed in Poland and Polish American places. It marks the end of Lent and the arrival of spring, symbolizing renewal and joy within the Polish American communities.
Why is it called Dyngus Day, though?
I have no fucking idea.
Okay, good.
I literally don't know why it's called. It's probably something. From what I can tell, it's something in Polish, and I don't understand Polish. So, yeah, it's It's called Schmigius Dingus is what it's called, or yeah, it is what it's called.
Okay,
I don't know enough Polish
that's easy for you to.
to know about that.
Okay,
Dude, I probably butchered the shit out of that. It probably literally just means Dingus Day. It's probably what it means.
I have a theory.
Okay.
A girl was sitting, just minding her own business, and a boy comes and dumps water on top of her. And this girl has got a real set of pipes. She can really holler, and
Hmm.
she yells, "You dingus!" super loud because now she's wet when she wasn't expecting to be wet, and it just stuck.
Right.
That's my theory.
Well, you'd be wrong. It apparently symbolizes how people would disperse crowds, especially in Jerusalem. Or sorry,
What?
they would use water to disperse crowds who are gathering to discuss the resurrection of Jesus. So that's what they think that is from.
Wait,
That is what scholars think.
scholars think
Why the water
that
thing?
people were discussing the resurrection of Jesus, and they needed to be dispersed by dumping water on them.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But in reality,
I don't know what to do with that. But okay, go ahead. In reality,
here's what happens. There's a fun run, obviously, and there's apparently a part where you hit each other with pussy willow branches.
um, okay, okay. You hit each other with pussy willow branches
Yes.
during the fun run.
And from what I have been led to understand, it also is, so it's basically the Polish version of St. Patrick's Day because everybody's Polish on Dingus Day. So you too can be a Polish person.
So I can be a Polish Catholic on Dingus Day?
You sure can.
Oh, yay.
So there's also, and they also eat krupnik.
Wait.
It is a sweet, yes.
What's it called?
Krupnik.
Krupnik. Okay, tell me about Krupnik.
Krupnik is basically from what I can tell, it is a sweet liqueur that is based in honey.
Okay. You could get all messed up on Krupnik and start beating people with pussy willows and splashing them with water to commemorate breaking up crowds talking about Jesus' resurrection.
Yes. Something like that.
This all makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. But anyways, it's pretty much
glorious.
Yeah, and Buffalo. Yeah, it sounds pretty fun. And Buffalo is the Dingus state capital of the world, apparently.
You would think it would be in Poland, but apparently not. Buffalo.
Well, sorry, did I say of the world? I meant of America. Okay. It is obviously big in Polish.
Yeah.
Poland.
I would think Warsaw maybe is the capital, but
yeah.
You know what? I didn't know Dingus Day existed, and now I know that there's a celebration to commemorate people being dispersed from talking about the resurrection of Jesus by throwing water on them and then doing a fun run where people beat each other with pussy willow branches.
Yes. From what I've been led to understand, I might have gotten that wrong. But
I hope not, because that seems like a good natural celebration that makes total sense, and you can really see how it comes together.
It all just comes together at the parade. Just all comes together at the parade.
What's the significance of beating people with pussy willow branches during a fun run?
I don't know.
Okay. And sometimes
I do not know.
Sometimes that's the best answer, Brian. It's just like, because.
If I knew, I would tell you.
Oh, well, that one's fun. You know what? You might have broken my brain with that one better than 90% of the previous brain breaks, just because nothing makes sense. It's like,
yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
It's like a chain where nothing is linked. Like it's there's just a bunch of like separate chain links all together in a pile, but you can't pull them apart because they are not linked. So it's not really a chain because nothing makes sense. One thing doesn't make sense to the next thing, doesn't make sense to the next thing, and yet somehow they're all part of the same compilation that is Dingus Day. And
yes, sir.
It's kind of beautiful in its brain breakingness, and I love it. And I look forward to celebrating Dingus Day now. Look out, everybody! I'm going to be splashing you with water. Better be careful.
And hitting you with pussy willows.
Plus, it's just fun to say pussy willows.
It is.
It's just a really fun, like, of all the kinds of branches that you could hit someone with, I can't think of one that's more fun to say.
It's true. It is true. But yeah, you're welcome.
Dingus Day.
The day of the dingus.
Okay. So now those are the ingredients that we have to make a movie.
Yes, we have Dingus Day, fish. Oh man, we got Dingus Day, Fish Guys.
We got all sorts of pussy willow branches.
We got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So, all right,
Yep.
all right. I'm gonna start.
Okay.
This is gonna be one of those movies where a guy looks back on his life and is thankful. Like I was looking back at my life earlier today and be like, none of that really mattered, and those stresses don't, they don't exist. But this guy's gonna look back on his life, and he's gonna I could have gone that way. I could have gone where what I did when I was 23 years old didn't really matter. But then I made one fateful choice that really changed everything for the better, because now things are nothing.
Oh, like the butterfly effect?
Yeah, kind of. And the thing he did that really changed things is he started taping fish to ATM. He did it he started doing it when he was 17, but he was much more discreet than, he didn't get caught, let's say. So he just kept going. So hundreds and hundreds of ATMs across the country. And he just stuck to ATM. I got the fish treatment. And it became almost like Banksy, where people would look forward to the fish.
Okay.
Yeah, like they would if
did your ATM get fished?
Did you get fished? Oh, you're so lucky. Your ATM got fished. And he needs a name cool like Banksy, because it's like art at this point. But he leads a normal life, totally normal life in every way. Leads it, loves it, has a wife, has a family, and he's grown into where he's like a middle-aged man now, but he's still late at night, like a ninja, like a fish taping ninja will slap a few fish onto ATMs. He has to have a nemesis. So so his nemesis,
Dingus Man.
Yeah, something like that. I was trying to incorporate Dingus. I don't think Dingus Man, a little too on the nose, but he's definitely a Polish Catholic who celebrates Dingus Day. But as much as he likes beating people with pussy willows and splashing water on girls, he hates fish on ATMs. And most of the world has really grown to celebrate Fish ATM Man, who needs a better name. We can just call him Banksy, because he started before Banksy, and so Banksy never in this timeline, Banksy never exists, because fish, they're near water banks, and so he pulls them from the bank.
You're really reaching there, bud.
I'm trying, man. We gotta do something. He needs a name.
Okay.
The new Banksy. Well, we'll workshop it. We'll come up with a good name for him. I guess Banksy.
Workshop it.
It's got to have something though. Fish Z doesn't work. I don't know. That doesn't work. It doesn't matter. We'll come up with a good name for this Robin Hood of robbing fish from the fish market and giving to the ATMs. That's like Robin Hood, right?
Yes.
Like that's a good deed to put a fish on an ATM. I think so.
Yeah.
So for decades now he's been putting fish, and this Polish Catholic who loves Dingus Day is his nemesis and wants to stop him, and he's been after him for decades as well. And he keeps getting close. Like he almost tracked him down in Cincinnati one time, because our hero was somewhere in Cincinnati taping fish to ATMs, and he was this close, but then he got distracted. Yeah, he got distracted at the very last minute because one of his friends was moving and he had to help him because his dryer wouldn't connect correctly. And if he had just not worried about that dryer lint that one day, he would have caught him, and he would have been able to put him in jail
if it weren't for the dryer lint.
Yeah, if it weren't for the dryer lint, you kids wouldn't have got away with it. So, but yeah, they just keep going back and forth, and so we basically just follow them throughout the decades as these two play cat and mouse.
Sounds a little bit like Catch Me If You Can.
I was thinking it's a very Catch Me If You Can, and there's also like fish get caught, so there's some kind of catch this if you can kind of thing going on here.
Ooh, you could call it like Catch and Release or something.
Oh, Catch and Release If You Can.
That's a good one.
Catch and Release If You Can.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. So it's just a story of these two and how they send notes back and forth to each other somehow through the internet, and we just kind of read about the intrigue, and somehow we get to the end, and somehow there's some kind of resolution that I can't think of right now.
That's funny.
But I think we've got the bones of something here with this relationship of a Polish Catholic guy who celebrates Dingus Day versus the fishmonger. The fishmonger? The ATM fishmonger.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Fishmonger might work. That might be it. Yeah. So catch and release me if you can.
That might be it.
Catch and release me if you can. Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
There you go.
That could be a good one.
There you go. So there's my stupid movie pitch, Brian. See if you can top that.
Love it.
Can't be hard, but maybe you can do it.
Okay, hold on. I have a sneeze. Hold on.
Okay, go for it, by all means.
Dude! All right, that's my movie pitch.
That was a good one. It has intrigue. It has build up. We're waiting for the sneeze, and then it happened. That's good.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh no. So here's my movie
Okay.
pitch. Okay, so you have a girl. Her name is Svedka. Okay.
Sledka?
I don't know. I'm just making something
I
up. I don't know. She needs a Polish
I
name.
liked it. Yeah, no. I wanted to make sure I had it correctly. That's all, because I can already feel the Academy Awards buzz starting to grow around this one.
Yes. So basically, she's living her life. She's just done with school. She's bored. She's like, I'm going to start taping fish to ATMs. I'm also going to I'm going to start passing basketballs to myself. And none of these things are really they're really not fulfilling. And so she eventually goes through life. She buys a house and finds all these things wrong with it. And she's like, I'm so frustrated with everything right now. I can't get anything done. But you know what? Tomorrow is Dyngus Day, and this is a time that is going to be great for me. And so she goes to bed on Easter,
Yep.
and she has a dream, that it's she will find true love on Dyngus Day. It's like, what does that mean? So it's basically a Hallmark. It's turning into a Hallmark holiday special, right?
Okay.
And so she goes down there, and she's like, well, whatever. She's talking with her friends. They're hitting dudes with pussy willows and shit, and everything's fine. And then they go to the parade. And then she sees someone that will change her life forever. She's at a stream, and this person is like just grabbing people and is like baptizing them with the power of the Dingus spirit by smashing his forehead into their forehead and throwing them in the river. And it's like,
Whoa.
this is amazing. Like what? And so she goes down there and she's like, good sir, can you please send me on my way? And so he like grabs her shoulders roughly and he's about to like smash her head. And then it turns out that there's 3 trumpet blasts. And you're like, what are the 3 trumpet blasts for? And it turns out that enough people were finally sacrificed in that way that the power of the Dingus is going to be released. And it's this weird red demon fiend. And it comes down and it tries to like, consume people. And it is like, it's a gross, turns into a gross horror movie where like there's this creature that's like the size of like a man and a half and is like picking up dudes and like just biting their heads off. And, just, horror movie shit, right? And so,
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. You just
I don't know what's more funny. The fact that you're laughing so hard, or the fact that I just described like something like coming out of the ground, and just picking people up and like eating them like fucking go-gurts and throwing them away.
this is a ride. We started out with Sledka, and then it turned into briefly a Hallmark holiday special, and then suddenly there's a demon eating people like Gogurt, and I don't know what to do with all of this.
Yeah. And so the man, he's like, oh no, what do we do? I don't know. We're just name the guy like Kostansky or something. I don't know. Name the dude, and then he's like, "I'll protect you." And he like goes up to the monster and he tries to like, and he like grabs it, and the monster grabs him, and then he's like, "Not so fast!" So he grabs the monster and like headbutts it, and then the monster's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And the demon's like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And then the demon like bites him and eats him, and so now she realizes, Svedka realizes that she'll never find true love. But wait, there's more. It gets worse / better.
Good.
It turns out the demon is her true
Oh,
love.
I saw that coming. Oh, I love it. Okay, good.
Yes. And so, because the demon like picks her up and is like, wouldn't they? And then she basically traps people for the demon to eat, and it's it's a heartwarming time, and they live happily ever after.
I think you've just created the first Hallmark holiday special horror movie.
I don't think I did. I'm sure that is a genre that someone has explored before.
Well, that may be true. You would be the expert on this, not me. But I've never heard of such a thing before. So wow, That took me some places I wasn't prepared to go, Brian. That was wild.
Yes.
Whew.
I would also say that the way that it ends, though, is that Svedka can't have nice things. And so a group of people band together and beat the demon to death with pussy willows.
Oh yeah, that seems like
And so,
a good way for it to go at the end. Now,
yeah.
now,
And then,
did the baptism scene come as a result of that weird Instagram reel you sent me where that guy was like headbutting people into the water and I didn't I didn't
it did. It did.
Okay, because you never mentioned that on the air, so I thought we should at least get that in there to let because like that was I don't know what to do with that. Sometimes Brian sends me things on Instagram. Sometimes they're hilarious. Sometimes they're RFK. Sometimes they're raccoons. Sometimes they're big fat guys who are painted up like green tigers and then like shaking their bellies. And then sometimes it's I don't understand what's happening at all, and I just look at it like, what is this? That was one of the what is this ones that Brian sent. It's an interesting phenomenon to have Brian feeding things to your Instagram feed because you will see stuff that you not only didn't know existed but couldn't fathom existing, and yet somehow it is and it does, and Brian serves it to you on a platter. And you're kind of thankful, but you're also kind of worried about Brian and kind of worried about the world that these things exist. Because you thought you lived in a
you shouldn't.
mostly sane world, but as is constantly being proved to me in 2025, there is nothing sane about the world anymore. And it just gets crazier and crazier. So I guess Brian's kind of actually providing a service and that he's opening my eyes to just how bonkers crazy everything is. Like the whole world is doing that.
Yeah.
But you've really inoculated me against thinking that things are normal and okay. So I guess thank you. I guess.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's the least that I can do.
It's really great. So yeah. And thus concludes our broadcast day, I suppose.
Yes.
That was a bonkers movie pitch, and I liked it. I liked it so much that I need some reading material to just calm me down. Do you have any suggestions on something that might help calm me?
You know what? I think you could go into your bathroom, and if you have a Q-tip box,
I do.
Maybe there's not a lot of text on.
Yeah, box is where it should go.
I would indeed say it's the backside,
and then maybe I could read the back of the Q-tip box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be some fitting reading, I think.
I think that's good. I think I'll do that. Thank you for the suggestion, Brian.
Untitled with Brian and Craig is produced and edited by me, Brian Dunnigan. It is also hosted by me, Brian Dunnigan, as well as Craig Dodge. Opening and ending themes are created by AI, so nobody has license to those.